All right, let's start here. Actually, let's start on the daily. We could honestly even start on the weekly because the weekly is like nasty. The weekly is a little crazy. Trend broken, clear buy here, right? Top of this range. Range has been developed since all the way back here. So let's just start here, right? First of all, we had this range, right? Broke out of that range, broke the low of this, and broke down to this level, kind of into this prior range where we had some. This was a buy zone here. This was a buy zone here, right? It's been pretty established buy zone. I mean, the top of it this ended up being kind of a buy zone here as well, right? So buy zone right here as well. So a lot of buying in this region. You don't turn it into a range until we hit this top up here, right? We we hit the top here, we double top here, we break this trend line, double top, and then reject, and we reject all the way back to the bottom of this range. Put in a higher low, but it's still trading range activity. And so then we push back up again, hit the high again. We can raise the roof here now and push down. And we're looking again like we want to do a push to the top of the range. Now, this is very ugly. This is so ugly that it makes it feel much less likely that we're gonna bust out of the range right here. It feels more like we're gonna stall here because of how strong this ended up being. By the time we hit here, it's an easy take profit region. We're also at the top of a well-established range now, right? So I think we probably have a little bit more in this range before we break out, but I think it is starting to look a little bit more like we want to break above this 45K region in the mid-ish term. And if we take a look on the weekly chart too, you see like what is this? What are all these things here? Okay, I'm just gonna remove all drawings. We'll redraw this box. Right. Um, Yeah, I don't actually know. I mean, obviously, this bar goes below the low of the prior bar, and it really at the start looked like we was just gonna bust it down here straight. But instead, we pop back up here. Sellers trapped down here. I mean, they're probably no longer trapped because they probably bought back on this pump here now. And I mean, if we close this bar like up here or something like that, even though it would be, I guess it would technically be an inside bar, but I would expect maybe a pop up, even if it's just a rejection and then back down. This is kind of looking like sideways consolidation at the end of this move, which feels very wave 4E. Um, Feels like we should get another pop down here and then kind of like that. So on that weekly time frame is kind of what we're probably looking at, but right now it's probably still bullish at least throughout this week. Maybe we want to take a shot at, test the EMA. Maybe we get rejected. Maybe we like do like this, and then next week we like start up, hit the EMA, reject, and then come down, and then the next couple weeks we just pushing down, kind of something like this. I don't know. Could happen. So let's go to the 4 hours, which just closed. Actually, let's do it here because I think this is the easier way to see the pattern. Clear, 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 clear spike, right? Super strong spike, and what looks to be a channel forming. So I'm actually long here, kind of a small size. Um, I saw this is the trade that I took. Looked like a pretty clear channel right here. and then we looked like we're having one push down, stalls right here, second push down, and what I did was I longed the 11 o'clock candle open. I just longed the open, and I put my stop immediately under this bar at 844, 41, 844, which on FTX where I took the trade, the low was like 41, 878 or something like that. So I gave it a little bit of breathing room. I could have put it underneath this bar. I think that's technically probably the better place to go, but I didn't want to have such a high risk on something that I really had no. It's not a trade that I typically take, so it's not a trade that I have a whole lot of confidence in. So I just wanted to put a small position size and a really tight stop. As you can see, my stop obviously ran, but then I started to see a little bit of a bounce action from 41.8, and so I tried to re-enter. I wasn't able to get the full same size position in, so my base price is like 42,270 now, I think. I think I got an entry at 41,905, and then I tried to get an entry at 41,864, and it tapped 41,860. But I put my thing in my order in just like as soon as it tapped 41,860 and went back up to like 41,866. I didn't want to pay taker fees, so I put in an entry for 41,864. It didn't fill, and then it started pumping. So only have half size position that I wanted, so my base price is not very good. 42,271, I think I said. And yeah, we're going to be looking for. I mean, this candle looks pretty good. This candle looks pretty good at the thing. Stop is very clearly underneath this. Oh my god. I don't remember what I was saying, but I think I said I have the entry on this candle now. Clear stop below this candle, and yeah, looking for a push up. I removed my order from 41,864. I don't plan to put it back in. Possibly could buy. So like, let's say this current candle closes basically like this. Could probably buy the next candle and put kind of like a little bit of a more lenient stop, not super tight. It doesn't have to be just underneath this candle because it's very likely that we could drop underneath this candle and then pump. We could very easily see an outside up bar on the next candle, I think, like something like this. So you can't just put the stop underneath here. Probably still have to put the stop underneath here. But yeah, if we kind of get back towards that 41,900 area, I might just add a little bit more size on because the stop is right. It's just a $100 stop, which is like a 1/4%. So if we get close to that 41.9 area, I might put on another order. But we're looking like we want to kind of take a bounce off of this EMA. And so the other thing that, yeah, I think this is where, oops, this is where I originally, okay, this is where I originally took the trade, was on this candle here, I believe. Or did I enter immediately after 11? Maybe I saw this and this is where I entered. Yeah, like at 11:01, I think is when I entered. And my original base price was like 42,010, I think it was. 42,010, expecting we might just kind of take a pump. We obviously broke down through here. My stop got run right here. We dipped all the way down to 41.8. And then when I saw this candle here, we had this nice pump. That's when I said, okay, let me see if I can get, because we have a strong trend here, breaks, puts in a second leg, puts in a strong break above this, and then we get a second, another test down here. So you buy, oops, you have this sell-off, you get another leg down and a strong buyback. So you can expect maybe we get a buy from here and we can keep a pretty tight stop underneath this. When it breaks down and you realize, okay, this is actually the second leg coming down from here, then this ends up being a pretty good buy on this bar, right? And we see, I tried to get in here, wasn't able to fill on the second one on this low, but I filled the first one on this, and then we get a nice little pump from there. And now we're hoping that that pump continues through this channel to the upside, possibly up to 43,000, possibly just to like my take profit is reasonably conservative here. between 42.5 and 42.6. I'm gonna layer bids or asks, I guess, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. We really would like to see kind of uh, starting to a buyback here. We really need to hold this low. If we don't hold this low, I think it makes sense that we kind of revisit maybe these lower levels, maybe around 41K where the channel began, maybe down to 40.8 where we had our last pullback in the spike. I probably wouldn't be looking for trades for longs until then if this fails. But yeah, I do think we're probably just going to keep channeling because within our channel, we've only seen. So this is the end of the thing. We're going to say we start our channel somewhere around here, right? Let's say it starts here. And we have this kind of channel, right? Um, one push, two push, three pushes in the channel. So we are wanting to be careful about, just a dump through the channel low. If we dump through the channel low, we're going to retest the start of the channel, but the start of the channel is basically right here. It would dump through the channel low and hit the start of the channel right there. So I think probably makes more sense to wait for a deeper pullback somewhere within this spike range. Um, or maybe we hit this channel low at 41.3 and then we see like a strong bounce and then we can kind of take a shot at maybe something like this and kind of enter like on this break here and take a shot up at maybe here. That would be about 2%, 1.5% to 2% kind of thing. Would be a fine trade. And probably take profit here because we might expect then for our horizontal trading range to develop. But yeah, right now, I mean, it's definitely clear spike. When we get a spike, you want to expect a possible channel, and all of this consolidation that's happening to the north of the spike is always good. Is always a good sign. Um, this inside bar to the downside doesn't look great. As long as we don't break below it, very reasonable that we take a shot to its high again. Um, so yeah, it's kind of what we're looking at right now. I think possibly on let's see the daily. Yeah, this daily chart seems pretty reasonable that we might kind of close up here and then take like a little pullback and then maybe get more. The best trade on this daily chart is going to be if we get this pullback here and then the subsequent day is like this, a green bar closing near its high, then 100% you take the trade above it and we're looking for 44K. No question about that. But we're gonna have to see how this winds up developing because this is such a strong candle that perhaps we just go straight to 44K tomorrow. No pullback. No pullback is a tougher trade to get in on, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Um, starting to possibly get close to that kind of buy-ish zone. I would probably buy in this kind of like 41, 920s, 930s or something like that. I might even just throw in a little bid right now. And yeah, let that rock. This is quite strong spike energy. And we really need to see, like we have one, the sideways consolidation break. Two, by the way, this is that same sideways consolidation that we're talking about on the weekly chart. It's strong push down, getting that sideways consolidation. After this rejection here, close to the EMA, then we get another leg down. That's not what you want to see, but I mean, we might freaking see that, That's kind of what it's looking like on those high time frame charts. On this low time frame chart, I mean, this is the lowest basically, right? First green bar. I mean, it's not really. It's not a setup bar for a long because it doesn't break above the last one and it closes near the low. But it could be a final flag type of thing, yeah, like this, where we get one more push down and then we start to push back up. Or this now could be forming itself a final flag type thing and we get one final push down and then start pushing up. So I think I am going to be looking for longs kind of a little bit lower. If we are able to get in there, fill it up, and then start pumping again, that would be a good look. If we aren't able to pump like this, I might just let it go. I might just let it like go up like this, and then we start to see stalling. Um, Obviously, we don't want to exit the channel. Obviously, we really don't want to break this low. If we break this low, I want to say it's over, um, because this is a really strong. This is a really strong pump out of this thing. So it really makes it feel like we are probably going to continue pushing higher and higher and higher, right? But we'll have to see. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I guess I'll check in another 15, 20 minutes or so. I know. I mean, this 1 hour candle doesn't look great, but that's why you put your stop underneath here. Pretty easy place to put your stop. I suspect we probably close somewhere near the low here, and hopefully we don't break underneath on the subsequent candle and we keep pushing up higher. But yeah, we'll just take it as it comes. I know.